And bring bad news, we're seeing the denials starting to come in. With a lot of the 75 country bans, our clients from Nigeria went to the consulate, got the denial notice. And it wasn't the denial notice that we expected either. They were denied under 212F. It's pursuant to the Presidential Proclamation 10998, restricting and limiting the entry of foreign nationals to protect the security of the United States. And so you are ineligible. What does that mean? For people who are unfamiliar with the consular process, when your immigrant petition, whether it's for business or family, gets approved in the US, you go through a national visa center and then you go to the consulate for the interview. Then they give you the visa, then you come to the US. Well, what happens if your visa interview doesn't get approved? The worst scenario is that they say you are inadmissible. Second is they do like a lengthy admin processing where they have to thoroughly investigate you back in your home country. Then the third option is they say, you know what? We're going to return this back to USCIS to re-adjudicate your case. But then now, on top of these three things, now we're saying, well, you are ineligible pursuant to the proclamation. Really, that just means because of this policy, you have to wait for the pause to be lifted unless you apply for a national interest exception, then they might approve it. So that's the current situation for everyone who's part of the 75 countries who is trying to get a visa abroad.
Can a citizen travel to one of the banned countries?
I do not recommend it. Just to be specific, the ban is banning the consulates from issuing new immigrant visas. So, U.S. citizen flying in and out, fine. But just wouldn't recommend it because customs, everybody is very on high alert.
I'm from Pakistan, and I'm visiting the U.S. on a B1, B2. Will I need to present some additional documentation at the port of entry?
Okay, yes. So everybody, return flights, hotels, event schedule, short duration. If you're here to see your family, 1 week, 2 weeks, return flight, hotels, activities, things booked, conversations about your visit, your family members, their names, their phone numbers, all these things you should have and they're ready to be able to answer. What do you do for a living? Don't say you don't work, right? I mean, that's just a lot of times officers say, well, okay, if you're not working back home, you're definitely coming here to work, right? That's one of the things that they care most about. So prepare those things well and explain. There is a high chance the officer might only give you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks for your entry. That's still better than just directly canceling your visa and making you turn back, right? So there's also a chance the officer still might give you 6 months, right? So check your I-94. And what the officer says is different than what's on your I-94 record when you check in. So whatever happens, hopefully you enter successfully. Go online, check your I-94, and see exactly how much time you're able to stay in the U.S. because that online notice is what controls, not what the officer says.
Can you apply for citizenship if you're from one of the banned countries?
If you're part of the 75 countries and you're in the United States, it is not a pause, right? The White House proclamation only affects the State Department, does not affect USCIS.
Can you apply, like even start the process, get the priority date?
So if you haven't even started the process yet, you can't because the pause is only on the last step. Right, so you can start the I-130, you can wait for the priority date, you could go through the National Visa Center. All of that takes months, if not years, depending on which category you are. So you can do all of that. It's just that at the last step, after the interview, normally admin processing, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then you get the visa. Well, instead of that 2-3 weeks, now it's indefinite. My prediction is it might be 3 years. Based on how slow the government moves. Last year, they announced a new public charge policy that hasn't been, to the best of my knowledge, implemented at the USCIS level, but they can implement it at the consulate level. And this is the very first step of it. And there's so many things that's in the pipeline of what they're doing, and everything is just going to compound on each other, and it's going to get messy. So I don't anticipate this being lifted anytime soon. Because to be lifted, it means, oh, I already solved the problem, I figured it out. I don't see anything is going to be figured out in the short term.